I'm Betty Cornett, and this is Rick Goins, and we are here, like he said, to focus in on something that's very important to each one of us. If you're a parent, a grandparent, whatever the case may be, you will want to hear what we're presenting to you in the program. First of all, Rick, we have Lisa Williams, who is the founder and executive director of Living Water for Girls, and it's to bring about freedom and the full restoration of American girls from the trauma of sexual trafficking and commercial sexual exploitation, which is a form of modern day slavery. Welcome, Lisa Williams, to Atlanta Live, this special edition. And Lisa, we don't want to waste any time. Please tell us how you became involved and what is your story right now of what you do.
Well, I saw an article in the AJC that was titled "Selling Atlanta's Children." It disturbed me. Clearly, I thought it was a misprint until I made a few phone calls, and I was told that there were children as young as 10 years of age who were being bought and sold in communities that we call home. The picture on this particular article was of a 10-year-old girl. She had shackles around her ankles. She was being presented to the judge and being charged with the act of prostitution. Clearly, something was wrong with that whole scenario. I made a few calls and found out that this was all too common, and the next calls I started making was to then the mayor of Atlanta and some other folks to say, how can we help? That was in 2007, and within a year we had mobilized a team of volunteers, and we were raising awareness around Atlanta, then throughout the United States, and we raised some $250,000 in order for us to purchase a safe refuge for these girls, and God has just blessed us in that way, and that's how we got started.
So how many of these places now do you have?
Well, we have one safe refuge. It is a compound. It's 7 acres where we're able to build an additional 2 homes to the one we already have there. Good. We're able to care for up to 10 girls at a time. And these are American children, American girls, ages 12 to 17 that we provide safe refuge for. We provide for their homeschool education with a certified teacher.
Great.
We also take care of all of their medical, dental, and mental health needs. And they come with quite a few needs. Yes.
Now, I think the shocking point is because when you hear sex trafficking, you always think of third world countries.
Yes.
And this is happening right here in our backyard. And when we say Atlanta, we're actually meaning the general area, not downtown. But what exactly goes in you saying you rescue these girls? Exactly how do you rescue?
Well,
I mean, what's going on in the girls' environments, I guess, is to start out?
Well, I think really to start off, we should ask the #1 question: who are those demanding to rape our daughters for profit? Because the demand drives the supply. And so it really doesn't matter how they get there, there is a demand for them. And that's why we have this issue. But our girls come a variety of ways. Some of our girls are runaways. And generally they are running from something, not necessarily to something. Usually we're saying, well, that's their fault. No, it's not. Many of our girls, and up to 85% of them, have already been physically or sexually abused in homes.
In the home.
And so they run, exactly, and they're running thinking that the streets would be a safer place, and they're certainly not. And then we have our throwaway children, and those are children who perhaps mom has said, you know what, my boyfriend is looking a little too much at you, and so you need to go, and you're 14 years of age.
Oh my God.
Or father may say, you have too much lip, you're always talking back, and since you know so much, you need to leave my home. And those are throwaway children.
Okay, now out of those 2 categories that you just described, what would you say is the percentage of how many girls? I mean, I've always kind of pictured, I could see the runaways. Of course, I've always thought, yeah, it's running to something, looking for a better life or something like that. But then also maybe kidnapped children or something like that.
They are in there as well.
So what are the percentage of, you look at it, because I think what's shocking me is, okay, we can go back to the parents on this one.
Well, sometimes we can go back to the parents. The national statistics is there's up to 300,000 American children under the age of 18 who have been forced, lured, coerced, or kidnapped into sexual exploitation and trafficking. Those numbers are staggering. And that it means that it's happening in communities not here, just here, but throughout our nation. It means if you have access to a computer, you can buy and sell a child in 3 minutes over the internet. That's what it really means. I know when I spoke to some of the smaller towns and in some counties away from the metro Atlanta area, they're quick to say, Lisa, we don't have that problem. And I said, do you have a computer in your home? You have that problem. Many of our children are being enticed through social networking sites. It is a serious issue. This is a billions of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
Billions of dollars.
Oh, yes. And
that's in the sex industry.
What drives the greedy people into this horrific evil.
Absolutely.
They're depraved, yes. Well, so you have been involved since '07, and so can you kind of tell us the range of experiences that you've had in that time?
Yeah, and there's been some positive ones too. I think that's why we get up every morning, because there's hope. Yes. We wouldn't be doing this if there wasn't any hope. The youngest girl that we've had involvement with has been 12 years old that has come into Living Water for Girls. We provide a safe refuge for these girls to heal in, a place again where they can get their schooling. It's interesting that most of our girls come and they are several grades behind. We had one of our 16-year-old girls who was testing on a 2.6 grade level. And so for us, having a homeschool on-site with a certified teacher and certified tutors in every discipline area to come into our home for these girls to address their specific needs, it's exactly what has to happen.
Right.
We knew that putting them back into the school system when they were so vulnerable would be the wrong thing to do.
That's right.
In our opinion.
Right.
We wanted to keep them safe as much as possible and address their needs so they can build up their academic abilities, get confidence again, deal with the mental health issues that we're dealing with, whether it's severe mood disorder, bipolar. There's a whole lot of things that go on when girls have been held captive, enslaved, and bought and sold. And we're talking mainly about girls, but do know that boys too are bought and sold and traded. Again, it's about the demand, who's demanding to do these things to our children.
How long do these children stay with you?
It all depends on their particular needs. The average so far for us has been anywhere between 6 to 9 months. Girls can stay in our home for up to 2 years. And if they do not have a secure, safe home environment to return to, and we always hope that is the choice that is available to them, then we look at some other type of things like independent living programs. We look at Job Corps. We have 2 girls who are currently in college, and we have a 3rd girl who will be going off very soon. And we're very excited about that. These children have potential. They simply needed a safe place to recover, to heal in, and to be loved again.
Right.
Quite often.
Bring back the hope.
Bring back the hope. Quite often when they are found or arrested, they are put into detention. So they have had crimes committed against them, and then they are put into a place where criminals should be. What
I don't understand, Rick, is how they can pull a child up into a courtroom with shackles on for prostitution when the environment is what brought them there. That child is not responsible. I mean, in a way, she is consented or whatever, but if she has been brainwashed and tortured into this kind of stuff, then it's not fair. That is not fair.
Well, first of all, a child does not consent to being a prostitute, so no, they are not liable for that. And we need to say that. We need to be very clear about that. A child cannot consent to being a prostitute, and we don't even call them that because children are prostituted. I think it's very important for us to get the language right. They're prostituted. They're not prostitutes. Very important. We say they're sexually exploited or trafficked, and being a sexually trafficked child simply means that you have been recruited, someone has harbored you, you have been transferred, you have been transported. The sexual exploitation comes in when a child has been forced to engage in prostitution, pornography, strip clubs, and those type of things. So it's very important for us to understand that. Here in Georgia, the age of consent is 16, and so the laws do something a little differently at that point, but still she is a child and she is a minor and should be treated as such.
So you think that the courts are doing their job there? I mean, the judges know that.
Well, there's a lot of hope and a lot of new legislation that has been passed because a lot of advocacy groups have been out there pushing for these new laws.
Like you.
me and other organizations who are at the forefront of this, and that's their focus. My focus is on the restoration side, but our volunteers certainly do help to contact senators and others to help to make sure that the laws can be changed so our girls will be considered as victims and not as criminals. And those who are perpetrating these crimes, that they will be held fully accountable for their actions, and that justice will be served. You know, we've had one of our girls who found her voice in our program, and she was able to frighten, if you will, the perpetrator, the trafficker, and he ended up taking a plea deal because he knew her voice was powerful. And so for us, that was a victory. We've seen 2 of those type of victories since we've had our doors open, and we're thankful and excited about the work that God has called us to, wishing that we didn't have to do this work, but that He's put us in a place and provided the place, living water.
And your website? Tell us your website again.
It's www.livingwaterforgirls.org.
What a beautiful name, Living Water.
I wanted to ask you, you know, earlier I asked, how did you go about rescuing these? I mean, do you walk the streets and look for these girls? Do they come to you? I imagine you have police officers and judges who come to you. How do the girls go from being prostituted to your front door?
Well, actually, the ways you've just you announced, simply we'll get calls from the courts, from judges, from probation officers, from police officers, from FBI agents, folks who are working with these children, and they will call to find out if we have space available, what our program, how our program works, and if this is the right placement for a child. And sometimes we get calls from parents as well. We've gotten several calls from parents who have said, "We need your help. We don't know where else to go, and our daughter, life depends on someone helping her." So from parents to police officers to the courtrooms to simply concerned citizens who have said, "We know something is going on with this child. Can you come out and assess her for us?"
That's good. There's such a need for a place like you have, and our prayer is that your donations and grants or whatever that you are seeking will come forth and get that second house up and going, because I can just tell, and I'm sure Rick does, the sincerity and the passion that you have, and your demeanor is just the kind that people would want to put them into your hands, you know, because that you're a caring kind of person. And you're so busy that you already had a call since you've been here, and we're trying to let the word get out so that you can get there and help whoever it is that's needing you right now. And you're serving such a great cause, and we want to admonish you to just keep it up and don't give up, and keep doing this good thing that you're doing to help these children around Atlanta. And like you say, you're planning on having living water for girls in other states. And
well, people have contacted us about that, and we're very thankful that they are seeing not just the need, but having the desire to do something similar to our home as a safe refuge. It's more too many children out here who don't have a safe refuge, and so whatever we can do to assist in that, we will.
Yes.
Thank you for allowing us to share this information.
Oh, yes.
Thank you for coming and doing what you do. What is your biggest need that you have right now?
There's 2. The biggest need is for us to raise awareness to everyone we know, our friends and our families, and for us to truly start asking the most important question, because we truly can't build enough safe homes for all of the 300,000 children. We must attack the demand side.
Yes.
And that means that we have to ask those tough questions. We have to look in our homes. We have to look on the folks who are sitting next to us in the pews and in the cubicles, and at our husbands and our sons and our daughters. We have to ask those questions. The second one is always funding so that we can keep the doors open. It runs us on average about $33,000 a month to do the type of work that we do with the girls that are in our care. So certainly folks can get involved in doing different type of fundraisers, different type of awareness pieces, so other folks will know that the need is out there and that we're here to provide this needed service.
Amen. Lisa Williams with Living Water for Girls, and that website is livingwaterforgirls.org, and the number is 678-8783-0126, and you can call here at the station anytime to get numbers. We'll be right back in just a moment.